Yeah, I said they got to wake up with their piss hot. So, you just got to be ready to go. And that's reality. That is the way it is.
Woke up with my piss hot. What a way to start. Sweat on my forehead, racing hard. Woke up with my piss hot. Ready to ignite. Let's raise some hell. Let's own the line.
Daniels, just a rookie. 26 out of 30, 87%, 231 yards. He rushes for 47. He's doing everything. Shredded, baby. C.J. Stroud, 345 yards, brings the Texans back, wins it at the buzzer. Shred 'em, Stroud.
Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by FLURRY Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the FLURRY Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3.
There's the clap. Hello, everyone. Welcome in Week 17 Fantasy Football Stardom Situm Show, presented by FLURRY Sports, part of Fantasy Football by Committee. We are pumped to be here tonight. It's championship week, so we got a lot to dive into. This is the week where, you got to start the right people. No ifs, ands, or buts. You win this championship, you do the wrong guys, and, well, I guess there's always next year, right? Hopefully you might get a little payout in second place. I don't know. It depends on your league, I guess. But, hey, we are here to try and help you make the right calls this week. So thank you for joining us. Henry John, joined by Zach McAdoo. As always, how are you doing, sir? And also Merry Christmas to everyone, too. Jeez, Christmas was yesterday. It's weird on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it felt weird. And I'm sure it felt weird having games on Wednesday. So we already missed 2 games. It is what it is. But happy Boxing Day nonetheless, as my Manchester United got actually shit-pounded today by, I forgot who it was.
Was it Liverpool?
But nonetheless, we're not here to talk about that football. We're talking about American football.
I don't know anything. Some guys I listen to, like Liverpool. That's about all I know. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it. Let's talk about football I know about and can join it too. All right. So Week 17, McAdoo mentioned it. 2 games already have taken place. NFL, please do not do that again unless Christmas is towards the end of the week. Thank you very much. I guess the ratings did well, but, is what it is.
65 million, if what I read was correct.
It's a headache for fantasy, I tell you that much. But anyways, we still got 14 more to come, and plenty of moving parts. As always here going into Week 17, we got some injuries to keep an eye on. A lot of guys at this point in the year banged up, so popping up on the injury report. Whether or not they're going to miss the game is, another story, but worth monitoring throughout the week of practice what their status is and what things are looking like. And, we still, believe it or not, have some kind of evolving situations on different offensive teams around the league. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires here going into the week. And it's Thursday night, as always, so we're going to do our best, Christmas aside, to give you our best takes on things. And the questions are already popping up in the chat. So, McAdoo, I say we jump right into this thing. Mike B, what is up? Kicking it off. It is a full PPR league. We're wondering Garrett Wilson or Keenan Allen as a wide receiver option. So, Garrett Wilson and the Jets. Who do the Jets have this week? They got the Bills. They got your Bills. How could I forget? And then Keenan Allen and the Bears tonight, Thursday Night Football. They are taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Keenan Allen has been a monster of late. What are you thinking here? It's an interesting one.
I love me some Keenan Allen. I was high on him early on in the year. He was kind of disappointing early on in the year, but in the last 5 weeks, he scored 20 or more points in 4 of those games. I think I'm going to go Keenan Allen here against the Seattle defense.
I think I am too, actually. I think the way to move the football on the Bills is to run it and then kind of balance it with passing. But I kind of think Brees Hall, maybe the Jets' other backs, like them in this spot more than Jets receivers. And obviously, Garrett Wilson, the clear wide receiver to Devontae Adams in that offense. Whereas Keenan Allen, kind of the wide receiver one in Chicago all of a sudden. I know DJ Moore has had a steady floor right along, but Keenan Allen has been a real nice revelation here down the stretch of the season. So doing big things. Clearly, I think he is kind of the, would you call it a safety blanket for Caleb Williams? I don't know if that's necessarily the right term. He's been starting all year at this point, but I feel like he's that safe target in a way. So, and I definitely respect the Bills' defense, I think, more than Seattle's at this point, too. So, yeah, I can get on board there with Keenan Allen, starting him over Garrett Wilson. It's close, but I think Allen makes for a better wide receiver 2 option based on where they'd be ranked this week. So, Orlando, what's up? DeAndre Swift, Jalen McMillan, or Tyjae Spears for his flex spot. A lot of interesting names here, all right? So DeAndre Swift, obviously tonight against Seattle with the Bears. He's been struggling of late. I don't think he's scored double-digit PPR points in like the last 5 or 6 games, something like that. Better matchup, though, I would say, this week against Seattle. Then you got Jalen McMillan, the late-season rookie sensation here, what he's doing with the Buccaneers. He's getting plenty of targets. He's making good on them. He has found the end zone. That's been boosting his numbers a little bit. But you got to like Tampa Bay's offense for sure. Tyjae Spears with the Titans against Jacksonville. He's been finding the end zone twice in each of the last 2 games. Actually has taken over the majority of snaps. And I believe he outtouched Tony Pollard in terms of targets and carries last week. It was close, but yeah, so the primary pass catching back there. He's playing more snaps. He's looked great now that he's finally healthy. He's been out of the lineup a couple times this year. What do you think, Mr. McAdoo?
So, Swift, like you said, he hasn't scored double-digit points since Week 11 against Green Bay.
Yeah.
I was between Swift and McMillan because I picked up Jalen McMillan in my fantasy team when Tank Dell went down. I just put Tank Dell on the IR. I'm going to hopefully carry him to a championship. Let's get that ring, boy. But I think I got to go Jalen McMillan.
Really?
I honestly do. I think he's become the second favorite target for Baker down there in Tampa. With whenever Mike Evans covered, he's looking for Jalen McMillan. And with K. Dotton questionable, who knows how much he's going to be able to go on Sunday.
Okay. The K. Dotton angle is interesting. The Buccaneers are playing the Panthers, by the way. I feel like I forgot to mention the matchup there. So obviously it's a good matchup. Carolina terrible against the run, though. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of balances out. One of McMillan's good games there did come against Carolina, though, as they played recently. I like Tyjae Spears this week. I am a little worried. Tony Pollard's on the injury report. Questionable. He didn't practice at all last week, and then he went out and had, I think, 10, 12 carries in that game or something. So I'm a little worried about how the split kind of goes down. But I actually have both Titans running backs as starts in the Stardom Situm article that went up earlier today over on the website, FLURRYSports.org. So if you want to check that out, I break them down more. I think against Jacksonville, both guys, the way that workload is being split up right now, fairly even, plenty of touches to go around. I mean, who else is there in that offense, really? I don't like the Jags defense. I know the last time the 2 teams played was like 13-6, but I think that's a different story this weekend. So I like Tyjae Spears. I also like Jalen McMillan. I feel like I might go DeAndre Swift here. I'm gonna be contrarian. I just think there's enough. I think there's enough PPR receptions to kind of jumpstart him tonight. Seattle's run defense is no great shakes. They had some better weeks in there. They played better since the bye, but call me contrarian. I kind of want to go DeAndre Swift. I feel like he has the clearest path to the most touches, the most volume. Would you agree with that at all? Not saying the most points necessarily. If McMillan catches 5 for, $150 and a score, sure, it's all she wrote. But I feel like Swift has the best chance to touch the ball, have the ball in his hands a whole lot.
Yeah, you could say about any running back, really. But, yeah, it's just all about what you can do with him. And I feel like McMillan going to have probably a lot of targets this week against the Panthers. And, like, he's been on a scoring tear, I feel like, as well.
All right. That's fair enough. I think Swift's got enough PPR juice this week to get him there. So maybe it depends on what you need. Like, I don't think any of them are bad options. I like your options for the flex spot. But, if you want to take a shot with McMillan, I'm here for it. If you want to try and hope that Swift does more with his touches this week, I think he's going to be used for certain tonight. The Bears need to break this losing streak. Better way to do it on Thursday Night Football, the day after Christmas. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go. As crazy as that sounds based on what we've been seeing. Let's keep going here. Keep those questions coming, everybody. We'd love to see it. Gary, if you had a core of wide receivers like Jackson Smith-Njigba, Terry McLaurin, T. Higgins, would you throw one in the flex over Zach Charbonnet this week? So those are good wide receivers right there. Charbonnet and JSN obviously going tonight against the Bears. You got Terry McLaurin with the Commanders. They are up against the Falcons. Favorable matchup there as well. T. Higgins and the Bengals taking on the Denver Broncos. It's an interesting conversation here. And he added on to that it is full PPR. I love Jackson Smith-Njigba, so I'm going to say I'm biased towards him right off the jump. Terry McLaurin, though, that matchup against Atlanta, I think if I had to base these guys based on matchup and what I could see, Higgins carrying an injury designation as well that might impact him, slow him down a little bit. And also that Washington-Atlanta game is huge. Probably like McLaurin the best of the 3 receivers. Would you agree? And then would you put him in over Charbonnet or any of these guys if you disagree?
So if you put one in, I think it's JSN, and first things first, I'm putting Charbonnet in the running back slot before the game starts.
Yep.
I think we've talked about this before. With Thursday night games, if you know they're going to start, you put them up into their position slot out of the flex. So obviously I'm going Charbonnet over JSN, McLaurin, and Higgins here, but if for some who's your other running back that you might want to take out at that point?
Well, he's talking about it. So it would be the same decision. What McAdoo's saying is for the Thursday night game, or if you have Christmas Day games, guys going yesterday, you want to put the Thursday night guys into the running back or the wide receiver spots, as opposed to the flex, just in case something happens and you have to make a last minute switch. Then you don't have to go scour for bottom of the barrel running backs if your league is thin on running backs on the waiver wire and you don't have a suitable fill-in on your bench. Or if it is a bench fill-in, for example, and whoever winds up in the flex just has some freak accident or something, then you have the option to swap in the best available player, period, if you leave that guy on Sunday playing in the flex spot, as opposed to having to reach down to only the best available running back. So that's what he's saying there. And I completely agree with that. It would still be, I guess, a question of, who's his flex. This team is stacked, so congrats to you. I don't see how, if these are your options on who you play, I'm assuming you're starting 2 receivers maybe? If you had a core of wide receivers, okay. So I would say Smith-Njigba and McLaurin, if you're able to start them anyways, and then start Charbonnet over Higgins, I would do that. If, it comes down to one of those receivers and Charbonnet as the flex. And I think you would start Charbonnet over all 3 of them as the flex anyways. I would agree with you. All right. Chris Saul on YouTube. How do we feel about Charbonnet tonight? Continuing the conversation here, he's planning to start him over Brian Robinson Jr. Yes.
I think Sharp's the right way to go. I think Brian Robinson had 1.1 points last week and 2
He had
fumbles.
more fumbles, I think, than he had fantasy points. Yes.
So,
it was a great time for him to do that right after I tried to prop him up in the article.
Bullet Hole B-Rob is sitting on my bench right now behind Ramondre Stevenson, if I remember correctly, or that's the wrong team? I think it is the wrong team because I was talking about him earlier. Do I start Ramondre Stevenson or Jalen McMillan this week?
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson had a fumble of his own last week, so now the Patriots might actually not start him. I don't know what that means for his role or not, but it's all sus up there in New England going into this week.
I'm sorry, I meant Deebo Samuel over Bullet Hole B-Rob. That is my fault.
There you go. Cannot say I necessarily blame you. Deebo's definitely got a hot hand coming out of last week. Finally got going. Chris, to answer your question, definitely Charbonnet over Brian Robinson. Fire him up tonight. Better PPR value floor there as well, assuming it is PPR. All right. Patrick is next up. PPR league. He just lost CeeDee Lamb in both leagues. Does he replace him with Tyjae Spears, Brandon Cooks, Chig Okonkwo, Xavier Leggetti, or Jalen Coker? In his other league, the options are Okonkwo, Madison, or Coker. You want to do one at a time here? I feel like that's the best way because we got 5 guys with this first one. So,
I think you're only. Are you picking Okonkwo or Coker in both of these leagues at all?
No,
I'm not.
I would. Well, let's think about this. In the first one, I could see an argument for it.
Over Cooks?
I could take or leave him, man. I think Jalen Tolbert, Devontae Turpin. I don't think Brandon Cooks just necessarily booms because CeeDee Lamb's out consistently. Could just be me, but Cooks has been a letdown for essentially ever since he got to Dallas, I feel like, outside of that first year. Still in last week's game, 3 targets. Now, Jalen Tolbert does have a minor injury, it looks like, as well. He should still be good to go. He's got a finger injury, so Tolbert will be good. I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's a plug-and-play situation there, and I also do not like the matchup this week against Philly. So what do you got?
Yeah, I just looked at Philly and I was like, okay, that changed my answer. So now we go back to the drawing board. Leggett has a injury designation, if I remember correctly. Because I got a notification.
I can pull him up here and get the latest. He is questionable. He was limited today. Hip and wrist injuries. He was full on Wednesday. So that was a downgrade in his activity level. Legette's just too inconsistent for me, man. Like, championship on the line here this week. He's got the injury designations. He's against Tampa. With the targets he's had, he should be producing more, I think. And, I'm not going to say that Bryce Young's been totally accurate with every ball, but obviously the one at the end of that Philly game comes to mind where he definitely should have had that. And he only got 3 targets last week, 42% of the snaps. Did he miss some time in that game with injuries? Carolina is interesting because they're relying on these veteran guys, and it seems to be working as far as, Bryce Young's development goes. I think I might actually look at Spears or Okonkwo as the 2 options in that league. I think Chig's a top 10 tight end this week. Am I crazy?
I do too. I'm going Tajay though.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, like I said, running backs, we got to go with over the tight end.
I would agree with you. Okonkwo had been completely absent from the season up until 2 weeks ago. Definitely has a rapport with Mason Rudolph, but you can't deny what Spears is doing either. If Pollard's at all limited in this game, I would say that he's good to go. And, their touches were basically right down the middle here these last couple of weeks for the most part as well. Spears has just been fine in the end zone, being the more productive back. And I don't think I can get there with Coker, definitely at this point. So,
No.
Yeah.
I'd go to get over Coker. But I can't get around the Panthers right now. And then the other league he has, Okonkwo, Madison, Coker. I don't like Madison at all. We've already talked about Coker. I would throw in
I think I
Okonkwo.
would too. Start both tight ends, man. Throw in that flex and tight end. I'm here for it. I want nothing.
It's funny. Start of the year, I never would have said that shit. Thank you, Jonnu Smith and Brock Bowers. You made me a believer.
It's crazy how, you look at the depth at the tight end position, and there's still like nothing. But it just seems like this year guys have been getting enough targets where there's a PPR floor there, and you can kind of throw them in at flex. And obviously you have names like Jonnu Smith that probably wasn't rostered at the start of the year, who you're able to grab them up, and all of a sudden you got two, top 5, top 6 tight ends on a weekly basis in your situation there. So it's definitely unique.
Yeah, there's a Discord I'm in. There's probably people in here that know who he is. That's Good Sports guy. I'm in his Discord, and I'm always promoting my stuff in there. And one of the guys replied saying, "Why is this needed? Like, there's not enough depth for that." It's just like, yeah, how do you think I feel writing the shit? Like, come on, like it's.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But yeah, I'm out on Madison as just like McAdoo, and kind of alluding back to the first question there. We'll take Chig, thinking he's going to have a nice game against Jacksonville this week, over Jalen Coker.
I shouldn't have believed in Madison after last season, but my dumbass is like, yeah, we'll throw him in there. Let's see if the Raiders help. Fuck no, and the Raiders fuck themselves because they're not going to have their first overall pick anymore. Excuse me. They're down to 5th or 6th, I believe.
Madison is just not a very good running back. If you're looking at the Raiders' backfield, I don't know who's out there, and I think I would probably still stick with Chig. But I do like Amir Abdullah better, just because he has the pass-catching floor. So, if you wanted to look and see, go a different route potentially, I would rather have Abdullah fill in my flex spot there than I would Madison. I know that's crazy to say in a lot of ways, but that's where I'm at as far as the Raiders are concerned in the backfield. All right. Next up, choose two of Adam Thielen, Calvin Ridley, and Jerome Ford. So Thielen with the Panthers against the Bucks, Calvin Ridley, Titans against the Jaguars, and then Jerome Ford with the Cleveland Browns. And is it going to be DTR again? They are up against the Miami Dolphins. And I'm going to say Jerome Ford's got to be one for me. You got 2 wide receivers, 1 running back. I like Jerome Ford because if it's DTR, they can't throw the football whatsoever. And he's got the check down options out of the backfield, but also the touch floor. If you're picking 2, championship on the line, even if you want to say these guys in a vacuum are all the same, I would start Jerome Ford as one of them. Balance it out a little bit.
Yes. DTR is absolutely terrible. Why Kevin Stefanski didn't leave us with famous Jameis?
Tragedy.
Which, who thought I would be saying that? A Gators fan rooting for a Florida State quarterback. Like, it's just weird how the world turns. And then I might go Adam Thielen here. I don't know I think he performed well last time the Bucs played the Panthers. And is Bryce Young better than CJ Stroud now? I mean, it's a question that needs to be asked.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm getting that far. CJ Stroud does not have very good pass protection this year. I think that's a big part of why he's struggling. And obviously, he's also now without his top 2 wideouts. So, hello, Deontay Johnson for the playoffs. I hope they face the Ravens again. I'm so upset that he couldn't get active in time for that game yesterday. Thielen against the Bucks last time, 23.9 PPR points, 8 catches on 10 targets, 99 yards, and a score. He did play well. That said, I call me Mr. Titan this year for whatever reason, but that's how I seem to be every single week when it comes to ATS lines and their defense, as we've already discussed on this fine program. And now this week, I'm okay with starting both running backs. I like Chig and Calvin Ridley when they faced the Jaguars a few weeks back. Low-scoring game, but he was targeted 12 times, caught 7 of them for 59 yards. Obviously, it was Will Levis in that game. Mason Rudolph has targeted him. He targeted him 5 times this past week, and then I don't know exactly what the split would be as far as who targeted him what in the week prior. He did catch a touchdown this week. That's really close. It's Christmas. I'll just agree with McAdoo. It's fine. We'll go Thielen.
It's a Christmas miracle, y'all.
It's really close for me. You could go either wide receiver along with Ford and be content with it, as far as I'm concerned. So, all right, Randy, what's up? Should I start Hunter Henry or George Kittle? And our favorite and worst Christmas dish that we had, Hunter Henry or George Kittle. McAdoo, I don't think we can get away from George Kittle, can we? They're going up against the Lions. That defense is banged up. I don't think this would be particularly close for me, right?
Are you staying with Kittle? I can't.
Really?
I am not starting Kittle. I don't. The Lions' defense is just. They're awful when it comes to tight ends. They are covering them so well. I am not starting
George Kittle's a different
any
breed,
tight
man.
end against him.
Different breed.
I know, but I just can't do it right now. I know the Niners are injured to hell and back, but I just can't.
That is bold out of Mr. McAdoo. Randy, I'm gonna stick with Kittle, but I'll try to support McAdoo here a little bit. In the last 5 games, Hunter Henry has gotten 9, 8, 9, 4. He caught all of them and 8 targets. So Drake May's been peppering him right along. Got in the end zone last week. That was his first touchdown since week 6, so that was good to see. He just doesn't have the yardage, and I don't think he's going to get the yards after catch that Kittle can get. Kittle needs 3 receptions to do what Hunter Henry does on 5 or 6. Touchdowns outstanding. So I know the Lions cover tight ends well, but I'm going to go with Kittle. I guess you get to decide, Randy, who you want to listen to. Maybe that decision comes down to the best and worst Christmas dishes we had. What would you say is yours?
Is it all time, or are we just talking last? I didn't eat a lot at all. I think all I had was Christmas cookies and.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, my mom made me a burger for dinner. That's what it was.
I don't typically complain about any holiday food. The fudge has been really good this year. We did ham and scalloped potatoes last night. So that was good. Brunch was good. I don't know. I just like eating. If I had to say a worst one, it would probably be back when extended family got together a little bit more. So it was a bigger gathering and you had more food, being thrown in to the mix. And I probably tried something at that point that I didn't like, or somebody cooked something that wasn't to my liking. I don't know what that would have been, but yeah, it's all positive for me here as far as food goes. Typically, that's the case. All right, Blake needs to pick up a defensive back. Ooh, a little IDP action here. I like it. Should he go with Love playing the Bears or Nick Cross for the Colts playing the Giants? Let me switch on over to some IDP stuff and see what I can come up with. McAdoo, do you have a choice, a preference?
Let me look at the only league I have an IDP in, because this guy just kind of surprised us with IDPs and punters, and it pissed us off. We're all like, you fucking asshole. But you know what? I have Julian Love. You start him. How about that? Is that what you want?
I think I'm okay with it. Nick Cross has his tackles have gone down significantly here in the past couple games. The snap count's also gone down. I'm going to assume that is due to some changes as far as personnel and how they are deploying him with the Colts. For a DB, though, he was doing excellent early in the year. Julian Love was never at Nick Cross's ceiling, but he's been a bit more steady right along, a little slower last week in terms of production. It is the Giants, though. Although it is the Bears. Caleb Williams could easily throw an interception or something stupid, too. I think I'm fine with Love. I'd go Julian Love. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. We'll roll with that. All right, cool. I think that's the first IDP question we've ever had. So, Blake, shout out to you. Let's see here. Patrick threw in with his question that he could pick up Jalen Tolbert also. Yeah, I don't think that's kind of how I feel about Cooks. I just don't really know how that's going to shake out there. I know they're the wide receiver 1 and 2. It's still Cooper Rush. It's a bad matchup against the Eagles this week, which is the week we're concerned about, unless you're playing into Week 18. But still, you got to get through this week to get there, depending on how your league is set up. The Titans have a great matchup, so I would say Spears or Chake, and we lean Spears as far as which one to take there. So, all right. McAdoo, is this your burner? I love this name. Sucking on chili dogs. Would you add Ty J. Spears or J.K. Dobbins, who very well might be back from IR this week? Just a little too late for me in most of my leagues, almost all of them. And start either of them over Rico Dowdle this week. It is a full PPR league. Rico Dowdle, start him, sit him column for running backs, FLURRYSports.org, as is Ty J. Spears, and they are on opposite sides. I mentioned both Titans backs, I think, are startable this week. Rico Dowdle against the Eagles, I don't want any part of it. He did not do so hot against Philly the last time they played. It was a struggle for him last week. You can argue that the injury to CeeDee Lamb, okay, does he get more targets? Yeah, I'm not really buying into that either. I don't really know how to handicap as far as Lamb going out goes with the Cowboys passing game is concerned. So I do not like Rico Dowdle this week, actually. And I would start Spears over him at running back. I think you can take that chance. J.K. Dobbins, though, what do you think about him, McAdoo? Do you agree with Spears over Dowdle?
I'm trying to look and see who, because I know I took Uncle Rico out. I'm trying to think of who I took him out for. Had to have been Debo. But, yeah, I like Tajay Spears more. This week, the Jacksonville Jaguars are atrocious, and so for that reason, I think you got to trust the Titans, which I don't want to say because every time I do, they piss the bed the next week. So be careful now that I've said that.
Yes. Hopefully no Will Levis helps that. He's not starting this week, right? They didn't switch back.
I think it's still Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer.
Please. It's Christmas time. It's Rudolph season. Yeah, Spears over Dowdle. And then J.K. Dobbins, I just looked him up while McAdoo was giving his take. He practiced limited on Tuesday. I'm going to assume, I don't know if the Chargers actually practiced on Wednesday or if that's just an estimate. They do play Saturday, so they might have on Christmas. But he missed practice today, so that is a step back. As far as he's concerned, it's his first game back off IR. I doubt the Chargers completely throw him into the fire that first game back. Probably some precaution there when you have guys like Gus Edwards and Kamani Vidal also available to help out. And I guess Hassan Haskins too, if we really want to run down the whole list, because he just keeps popping up every now and then. So for now, I would say Ty J. Spears, unless the outlook on Dobbins and you get a little bit more clarity that, yeah, he's going to be, the guy right away this week. I would tend to doubt that. So roll with Spears over Dowdle, because Dowdle has got an ugly matchup there against a pissed off Philly defense. Aguilar 93, Bryce Young or Geno Smith going up against the Bucks, and then obviously the Bears tonight. What do you think?
I'm leaning Geno, but I want to see what Bryce Young did against the Bucs the last time.
Geno would be the lean for me for sure. Seahawks got to have this one. Bears defense is played well early in the year, but it's been hit or miss since. Bryce Young threw for, would that have been a career high, 298 yards against the Bucs in the first game? 26 of 46, 1 touchdown.
23.62. He said, no, he had 312 last year against Green Bay.
So he does have a 300-yard game.
Listen, I'm trying to be a Bryce Young believer here. I don't know what it is, if it's because he's on my fantasy team or I want to believe that he's actually a good quarterback, but I'm still going Geno. I'm not giving him this.
I don't think I can feel good about. I know Bryce Young has been playing better. I know Dave Canales looks like he's doing a hell of a coaching job down there in his first year in Carolina. He's getting the most out of that team for sure at this point. But with a fantasy championship on the line, week 17, I would have to go with Geno Smith. He's got better weapons, and
more better.
Yeah, is that terrible English? I liked it when I was thinking it, but I guess that does sound kind of bad.
But I'm looking at this now. How in the hell, and this is going to piss me off because I like Arizona as well, but how the hell did Bryce Young get 27.12 fantasy points with only 158 passing yards?
He had to have run for a score, right?
Yeah, he had 68 rushing yards and a touchdown.
He also had 2 passing touchdowns.
A rushing touchdown, that is.
That's 8 points right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, QB fantasy points can sneak up on you. They can do funky things as far as the stats are concerned.
What the fuck, Arizona?
Geno Smith for both of us with the championship on the line. So there you go. Super CNB challengers. Tua Tagovailoa or Caleb Williams this week. He is starting Seattle's defense tonight as well. If that changes anything, Tagovailoa with the Dolphins, they have the Cleveland Browns. That would be Tua or pass for me.
Tua or pass?
I don't want to start Caleb Williams. There's a lot of other guys I would rather pick up off waivers than start Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. I know that's mean, but I can't do it.
Give me the lefty. Give me the lefty. I don't care. I like Tua Tagovailoa.
Agreed. All right. Let's see here. Crossed is up next on YouTube. Bijan Robinson or Zach Charbonnet. You gotta go Bijan, right? You can't sit him. We're not doing that, are we? Are you doing that? How is this a start-sit question? Who are the rest of your running backs?
I want to say Charbonnet so bad, but I can't. I can't. You can't sit Bijan Robinson. As much as it's the Falcons' offense and it's just infuriating, you can't. I can't in good conscience do it.
Yeah, agreed.
Like they've changed offensive play call people, and this offense I still feel like is a letdown. They've changed quarterbacks. They've done everything, and Kyle Pitts is still. I'm gonna be nice here. He's still screwing fantasy owners over.
You could be a little more harsh if you want.
Like Drake.
You want to be a little more harsh on Kyle Pitts?
I was gonna say fuck us in the ass, but I don't think I should be saying that.
I didn't hear anything.
Like, it's infuriating. There's so much potential there.
No. Michael Penix Jr. Jr. has one career NFL interception now, and Kyle Pitts might as well have caught the ball and then threw it to the defense. Kyle Pitts should have gotten charged for that interception. Okay. No good.
Yeah, I wish there was a way to change that because just like last year, I think, oh fuck, what game was it? Was it the Jacksonville game where? Oh no, it was the Broncos game where it went right through Gabe Davis's hands and it was picked. Like there has to be something.
Yeah.
Then like because that interception should not be on Josh. Like they went back. Like, there's a TikTok video that went back and looked at every Josh Allen interception up until like week 13 or 14 last year, and like maybe half of them were his fault.
Okay, you want him to be MVP. We're gonna chill the MVP talk. He's already got some.
All right, we're coming back to this motherfucker. We're coming back. Roll through the questions.
I'm just gonna say I really, really, really hope he doesn't win now that he already got an MVP pendant or whatever he got, necklace. I think that is bad juju.
He should have been last year. He should have been MVP last year.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson, start him. Michael Penix Jr. should have no interceptions, and Kyle Pitts should have one on his stats this year. And Kyle Pitts sucks. That's basically all that wraps up that conversation. Jerpy, pick one for flex: T. Higgins, Cooper Kupp, Zach Charbonnet, or DJ Moore. How good is your lineup if this is your flex spot? I love this. We got some good lineups in the fantasy finals this week. DJ Moore, I'm going to rule out. And I think this would have to be Zach Charbonnet for me. Do you agree?
Yeah, but it's funny because in the article, there's two of these guys want to start, want to sit.
Do you want to tell us about one or both?
No, get to the questions. They can read. They can go on FLURRYSports.org and read the article.
That's the plug right there. You said you agree with Charbonnet, correct? Okay.
Yes, Zach Charbonnet.
There you go.
No, he's not fucking. This is bullshit. No.
For 4 years, you've been saying, "Oh, there's so much potential. He's a Florida Gator. There's so much potential," and he sucks.
There is. Arthur Smith was dog shit. He's gone. Fucking Kyle Pitts finally done something, and now he has like two bad, or he's actually probably had more, like 4 or 5 in a row.
Arthur Smith was not dog
like
shit.
Fucking Arthur Smith is actual dog shit.
As an offensive coordinator and play caller, he is not. He's one of the best in the league.
He needs to go to fucking Alcatraz. Lock his bitch ass up. Along with fucking Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey needs to go too.
Jose Valencia brings up 3 QBs that we have discussed a little bit already. He's in the final, so congrats. We'll start there. Keeping things positive around Christmas. No anti-Arthur Smith. Caleb Williams, Geno Smith, or Bryce Young as his quarterback this week. So Williams tonight, Geno Smith tonight, same game, Thursday Night Football, or would you wait it out for Bryce Young on Sunday? We already answered Geno versus Bryce straight up, and we like Geno. So this comes down to Geno or Caleb. This is easy for me, so I'm waiting on you.
We're not starting Caleb. We don't. It's not Caleb. I don't like. I want to like. I believe he can do something.
He can do
but
something.
I just can't. I don't. I'm not a believer.
He can stand there with the ball.
I'm not
for
a believer
5
yet.
seconds every time he drops back. That's what he does right now. Geno Smith. I feel like all might score similarly, and who knows? Maybe we're wrong, but with a fantasy final situation, championship on the line, sorry, you got to go Geno Smith. That's who I feel most confident in out of these 3 guys to give me something.
Imagine saying that 5 years ago.
Yeah, not just that is true. It's funny, all these New York Jets quarterbacks go elsewhere and suddenly they're reclamation projects. Like Zach Wilson's next. You wait. He's already doing Christmas with, did you see that? All the Broncos QBs do Christmas together with their wives. They're all in the same pajamas.
I'm pretty sure they've done like I saw a TikTok where they do like game nights and shit like that, like all like the Broncos QB room. So I don't. That doesn't surprise me.
Family Christmas thing. So as you can imagine, the comments on that post on X were, hit or miss.
Yeah, but I'm a believer though. I believe in Bo Nix. This comment's also wrong.
Bruner adds in
Michael Penis.
I always said the QB needs to go hand the ball to Pitts in order for him to do anything. Penix basically did that, and he gave it away.
One bad play, and everyone fucking remembers.
One bad play, or what? 3 years of terrible play. if anyone else has questions before Thursday Night Football kicks off, drop them in the chat, and we will try to help you out as best we can for the fantasy championships. All of you who are playing for a title this weekend, congratulations on making it this far. Let's bring home the gold, baby. That's all there is to it. So yeah, if anyone has questions, let us know. Also, I'm pretty sure Zach Bruner, who you see chiming in about Kyle Pitts in the chat, is doing another AMA on Reddit on Saturday. I can't remember the time, but I feel like I saw that. So, fantasy football community over there, and he will be live in the chat on Reddit on Saturday to answer any questions you have for Week 17 or any other questions. That is false information. I apologize, but I'm damn positive I saw that. So I just don't remember the time. McAdoo, do you want to touch on anything specific for Week 17?
There's two things.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Do you want to bring up our matchup, or do you want to talk about Josh Allen MVP? Either or. I'll let you pick.
First off, there's the time for the AMA, so it is a thing. I was not wrong.
So 2 Eastern, 1 Central, 12 Mountain Time, 11 Pacific.
And
10 a.m. Alaskan and 9 a.m. Hawaiian. There you go.
And if you're in Canada, you match up where you correspond. And if you're somewhere in Mexico, same thing. And if you're on the other side of the world, you just got to figure it out. Because I don't know.
If you're in Canada, what the fuck are you doing up there? Get the fuck out.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
I told you. It's
matchup
your choice.
Or what?
The Josh Allen MVP case.
Well, what do you have to say about the matchup? I'm going to kick your ass.
You're not. No, it's not happening.
Do you have something you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. This is let the people see what's going on between us.
All right.
But I don't know how you tell. How are you gonna say Mountain Time isn't real? It's obviously a real thing.
I lived on it for a year in Wyoming, so yeah, it is real. I hate to break that, but I got to side with McAdoo on that one. Yeah, McAdoo and I have a bet going on our 5th place game. We're calling it the real championship, even though we both lost fair and square.
Yeah, fuck everyone else.
This is what we wanted all along.
Everyone
we didn't care where it was. If it was the 1st place game, the 3rd place game, it just so happens to be the 5th place game. So yeah, we're throwing down on this, and we're gonna see who walks out winners. I feel like you've been making free agent moves though, and I kind of don't like you for that, because once you're out, you shouldn't be doing that. But
okay? First off, we're fighting for money. We put money on this, so that's fuck everyone else. Like we're still trying to earn something. Are we still not trying? Like we're still placing ourselves. Like
okay, sure.
I don't care. Like I'm still fighting till the end.
I don't know. I'd be curious to see if anyone watching has any thoughts on that. Like, how do you weigh the integrity?
I didn't use a waiver claim. I didn't use a waiver claim. True. It was a free agent pickup.
He waited for waivers to process.
They were right there.
So I'll give you that. But I don't know.
So
I don't know. And we weren't fighting for money until we decided to bet on it once we knew that we were facing each other this week. So
we knew we were facing each other like before the last week ended.
Yeah,
I messaged you Monday night how much money we should put on it, and I think you got back to me Tuesday.
I think it was Sunday and Monday actually.
No, yeah, it was. It was you messaged me back Monday night. So by then we're still putting it there.
We'll see what happens. I like my odds though, people. I like my chances. That's why I took the bet.
And also, listen, I dropped the fucking Arizona defense for Las Vegas. Suck me, okay? It wasn't that big a deal.
I just want you to send me a selfie if my team in that league, in this stupid 5th place side bet thing we have going on, does what my team in the One Dynasty League did to your team a couple weeks ago when I scored like 250 points. And I'm saying...
And didn't you get fucking ass rammed in that league too? In the 2nd round?
I lost by 10. It wasn't that bad.
I don't care. I'll take fucking the 6th place. I'll have 5th pick next year. I don't give a shit.
Perks of losing early in Dynasty. Week 17. Josh Allen MVP. What do you got? What are you thinking as far as stuff goes here?
So Let me start by this. Last year, Josh Allen had more yardage, had better stats than Lamar Jackson, and doesn't win MVP. Now, Lamar Jackson. Now we flip that. Josh Allen loses Stephon Diggs, less stats, and Lamar's still MVP over Josh. I just don't understand this. I mean, granted, I think Lamar should take a hit because of who his running back is.
Why?
What do you mean? Why? It's having Derrick Henry as your second best player. He's not going to be the most valuable player anymore. He's got someone else to help him out.
I'm pulling up stats from last year because I want to verify.
Also, having Derrick Henry as your fucking running back is going to open up the passing game. Let's start there.
James Cook's a decent running back. Isn't he?
We're really going to compare James Cook to Derrick Henry. That's where we're at right now.
Josh Allen threw for 4,300 yards last year. Lamar Jackson threw for roughly 3,700. Lamar Jackson had a higher completion percentage by about 1%.
I'm saying no, Bruno. What I'm saying is last year Lamar had worse stats, got carried by his defense, and still won MVP. This year, Josh Allen has done everything he can for the team. Look at the fucking 2 weeks where they play the Rams and Lions, and Lamar is still the MVP favorite, despite losing to the Raiders and the Browns.
18 picks last year. Lamar threw 7.
He took what?
18 picks. Lamar threw 7.
We talked about this earlier. Most of them weren't his fault. You talk about Pitts in his fucking drop. Let's look at all the drops that the Bills had last year. Like it's there. You're gonna tell me that it's like we're gonna say that Kyle Pitts dropped it. It should be marked to him. But fuck
bad throws, man.
Every other. What do you mean it's not true at all? What do you mean it's not true at all?
And then you also, let's see here. I don't have rushing stats pulled up here, but in terms of overall quarterback rating, Lamar Jackson last year was a 102.7. Josh Allen was 92.2. That's not close.
I hate quarterback rating.
Factors in though.
Wait,
that's a number that people can look at. They're like, oh, that's an overall picture. So
why is there a cap on a quarterback rating in the NFL though? Like 158.3 is the highest, but in college it can go way higher.
I don't know. We should do some research and write about that. Maybe that's off-season content if we do this stream once a month or something to keep the people, let us know we're still alive or something. Yeah, I don't know that I'm buying you on this whole Josh Allen should have won it last year thing. I think he's definitely in the running this year, but I also think, for me personally, I hate to break it to you, I know this won't happen, but if I had to give out an MVP award, if one man had a vote and that one man was me, it'd be Saquon Barkley. He's gone off.
I would accept it. If Saquon Barkley actually hits 2,000, I think he should get it.
I agree.
If he beats Eric Dickerson's record,
he actually might get it.
He might, but that's because of the extra game.
True.
So that's why you got to kind of have some leeway there. But I think maybe you can give it to him. Again, it's all about the people around you.
Very true. Patrick Mahomes is coming on here. He's making a late push too. Don't forget. Just gonna leave it at that because I know that's a trigger word. That's a trigger word for you. Any last minute questions? We're gonna do our plugs, and if we have anything to answer, we will do that before we hop off here for Thursday Night Football. FLURRYSports.org, as we've mentioned, the stardom cinema articles, running back, wide receiver, tight end, they're all up over there. You've also got for Week 17 Championship Week. I know I put together defense streamers. Some waiver wire claims, one of which was Tyjae Spears, so that's a guy you could throw in your lineup if you have a situation that you need to address. So waiver claims are up. Zach Bruner's fantasy rankings are over there, and like I mentioned, and he clarified for certain, he will be doing a Reddit AMA once again this Saturday 1 p.m. Central Time. That's 1300 military time in the Central Time Zone. You figure it out from there. So you can jump in there and ask him anything as well. What else we got over on the site this week? You got Luke's Survivor picks, so you can check those out if you somehow made it to this point, or if you're into the betting realm at all. Speaking of betting, McAdoo, I believe Seattle was a 4-point favorite this afternoon, but I like to give you the most updated line, and it is 4.5. Do you like the Seahawks laying that big of a number?
Yes, I'm going to stick with the Seahawks minus 4.5.
Okay.
Let me give you other 2 plays here. Hold on.
He's going Seahawks minus 4.5. That line has moved a fair bit because I know a contest line for me is 2.5. So do with that what you will. I think the Bears getting a field goal and a whole extra 1.5 at home. Need to end this losing streak, but the Bears are so incompetent. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting Seattle, though, myself. Brunner adds down here in the chat, by the way, I know you're busy, sir, but Lamar, Saquon, Burrow, Allen, Goff. Top 5 most deserving. Burrow's a guy you forget about because the Bengals are not great. I've said Jared Goff, before he had that 5-interception game, I thought he should be getting more conversation than I think he was. So I can agree with that list for sure.
I hate how FanDuel does not have over-under for receiving yards. So I got to do this myself.
Deontay Johnson over under half a yard.
Over-under him touching the fucking field at this point. Like,
He's gonna play tonight.
he didn't play yesterday. He's got to wait. Whole saga is stupid. All right. Give me Seattle minus 4.5. Zach Charbonnet anytime touchdown, and Jackson Smith and Jigba 70 yards.
Over.
Lock it in.
Over. Under.
Just give me 70 plus.
Oh, okay. I got it. I got you. I follow.
If he reaches 70 yards, he's good.
Gotcha.
Because FanDuel doesn't have over-under.
It's weird. All right. You got the picks. You got the plugs. You got the questions answered. Let's go win some titles, baby. Fantasy Football Champ Week. And let's bring home the gold. This is what we've been working for all season long. So finish strong. Make those right calls. Refer back to the rankings, too, that Bruno does because he updates them up through the games. And, yeah. McAdoo, you got anything else?
Nope.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll have to see when we'll see you again under this show name. Perhaps we'll do a different show during the off season. Who knows? Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, we're not doing next week. If you have a fucking league next week, you need help. Let's just start there.
Maybe we'll do a recap or something next week or in a couple weeks or whatever. Maybe we'll do some playoff stuff, TFS, whatever. Who knows? So yeah, stay tuned for any announcements on that. And it's been fun. It's been a fun year doing this each week. So thank you for joining us tonight, all season long. Those of you who have been the ride and die, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good night.